Good afternoon. I'd love to have your attention, please. I know not all of you are English speakers, but we would appreciate your attention up here at the podium. I am something of a last-minute substitution, and I am not myself a parliamentarian, but I must say that this is not the first time that I've been called upon to stand in for those who are. As was mentioned, my late father, Congressman Tom Lantos, was the only Holocaust survivor ever elected to serve in the United States Congress. And my husband, former Congressman and Ambassador Richard Swett, also was a member of Congress from the state of New Hampshire where we live. And many times during their respective political careers, I was called upon to go and be their surrogate to represent them somewhere. And it was always a very funny experience because, you know, the people in the audience would sort of be, oh boy, you know, the congressman couldn't come, so we got his daughter, or the congressman couldn't come, so we got stuck with his wife. And so I got in the habit of telling the following joke, which I understand is based on true events. Many years ago, there was a mayor in New York City by the name of David Dinkins. And one day he was riding through New York in his very comfortable and cushy mayoral limousine with his wife. And as there is often a lot of construction going on, the limousine was stopped by the side of the road as they waited for some roadblocks to clear. And coming out of this ditch along the side of the road was a ditch digger wheeling a wheelbarrow full of dirt. And the mayor glanced out the window, and then he kind of leaned over and looked a little more closely. And then with a very smug and satisfied expression on his face, he settled back in those cushy leather seats of the car and kind of gave his wife a little nudge with his elbow. And he said, "Honey, take a look over there. See that guy coming up, the ditch digger coming up with that wheelbarrow full of dirt? Isn't that the man, the guy that you were dating back in high school before you started dating me?" Well, of course, his wife now leaned over and looked very carefully and recognized the guy and said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that is the fellow I was dating before I started dating you." Well, now the mayor, with a supremely smug expression on his face, said, "Well, think about that. If you had married him instead of marrying me, you'd now be the wife of a ditch digger." To which his wife replied very quickly, "No, if I'd married him instead of you, he'd be the mayor of New York City." So I say that only by way of making the point that sometimes, you know, those people who are filling in on behalf of others have things of value to say themselves. I'd like to just say a few very quick words about the importance of this really very exciting and extraordinary project that was launched, as Icon said, a little over a year ago, this International Panel of Parliamentarians for Freedom of Religion and Belief. It's an exciting initiative that brings together parliamentarians from a wide range of countries who share very little in common. They represent different constituencies, different parties. They bring vastly different backgrounds to their respective missions. But they do share in common this passionate commitment to the cause of freedom and religion and belief. And I believe that they represent the sort of spirit that needs to be brought to the work that we are trying to do in securing this basic human right for all. I did have a father and a husband who both served in the U.S. Congress. And in our country, we call the Congress of the United States the People's House. It is that part of our government which is closest to the ordinary people, closest to their concerns, the struggles they deal with, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, their aspirations. And how appropriate it is that now under the leadership of such outstanding individuals, that we have this international group, representatives of their respective people's houses, working to fight for a fundamental human right that is closer and nearer and dearer to the hearts of ordinary people than almost any other. I thank you for the opportunity to be here and look forward to hearing the remaining speakers. Thank you.